Yeah, welcome everybody. We're a little early this evening. The simple fact is, uh, this is Charles's night, so I don't want to interfere with his hangout or whatever. But I thought I'd show this because it gives your model a more professional look. And I have the sheeting glued on this now, and I'm going to trim the sheeting. And what you do is you take a straight pin and you put it in the back of the where the spar is on both ends, and then you put a straight edge up to it and tape it down. And now we're going to cut that off. That'll give you a nice clean straight line. Hopefully I did it right. Take this pin out. Okay. Now this wing here, I'm going to build a tank box in it, so I'm going to cut out the center so that I can slide the tank farther aft. Hopefully I don't come out tail heavy, but you never know. Now, another thing about these, if you remember, I made these shear web pieces. These are not glued in as of yet. We're not going to glue that in until after I get the landing gear doors and those things sanded in, because those shear webs are what hold the wing from twisting. So you could build a warp into it, even at this spot right here. I mean, it's locked up. But let's say that I box in my trailing edge, which I'm going to do. Box in my trailing edge, and I happen to build a slight warp into it. Heck, you can't get it out, but you can if with those shear web pieces. So now I need those pins. What do I do with those pins? There they are. Yes, PA75. See, I've picked up a bit of hanger rash on the leading edge already. But remember, I can't sand that, so if I sand that, it'll be a disaster. So I'll wait until I get some tissue on it to fix that piece of hanger rash. Just about the size of a BB. If you do it this way, you get a nice professional looking model. You won't You won't have any kind of wavy. I use superfill. I've shown that on the channel several times. It's real aircraft putty. Super light, 2-part epoxy style. Got some glue down in it or something. Didn't want to separate right there. There we go. Glued itself to the top of that spar. I'm thinking about being the ED for next year's Nats. Seems that Dave is not going to do it. I'm just thinking about it, so don't get too freaked out. I need a stiffer knife to push that over with. Man. Some glue that got in there and hardened. A nice straight edge there. Yay, we got it. I don't normally have to sand that up, but because there was some glue on it, I'm going to stand up to the ruler. This is on the bottom anyway, but nobody will see it except me and you guys. But that being said, this has got to be perfect. Okay, let's see how it looks. A little bit of sanding right here on this one. That rib's sticking out a little bit. You ask yourself, why am I sanding that straight? Because that line shows through the covering. And is it absolutely necessary? No, not really. But when I set a model down, I'm going to see all the lines straight, all the woodwork done correctly. So I'm just doing what I would want to see. That looks pretty good. So let's pick this up. Now let's see what it weighs. That'll give an insight to what the wing is going to weigh. Of course, we know the wing's going to weigh around 5 ounces. Hope I took some substantial weight off it with all that stuff. Yep, 2.6, so it's going to be right at 5 ounces. By the way, I don't never lie to you guys on what stuff weighs. If it weighs 2.4, 2.6, 2.10, or 8, I'll tell you, because it don't matter. $2.6 or 73 grams. So we need to do the other wing now. And we'll glue them together. I don't think we'll get to that tonight because of Charles's time. Okay. I'm pretty satisfied with this. This turned out pretty nice. Still need to work on this flap. I need to sink my hinge area. My hinge blocks and my quarter ribs, and then box in the trailing edge. So we might get it done this week. I guess I was doing some wishful thinking I was going to get it done by Friday, but we'll get it done this week. I'm in actually no rush, but I get something in my head, and I can't let it go. I don't know that I ever told you the story about my penny collection, but I started a collection of pennies. And I had all the pennies except for a 1909 SVDB. And that bothered me. Well, I got one. I couldn't sleep until I got one. And what do you do with a penny collection? Nothing. It's been sitting in the closet for the last 15, 20 years. But I got one. And I started on nickels, and I filled that up. And I'm no coin collector, but I got them. When I was a kid, we had penny collections and that stuff. Let me set this over here. That can be a good looking wing. Okay, let's see what we got here. Now this one was molded with Windex, just like I showed you guys. We need to put this in the buck and sand it for its last time. Afternoon, Marcel. I must say, Windex looks like it works mighty good. Probably better than the water. The wire I was gluing in. When? Because I don't remember a wire that I was gluing in. In the flaps. It's not a wire, it's a carbon rod. That's my hinges. Hinging system. Okay, let's take a look at this. See what it looks like. I gotta sand it out. So we can, at least I'll be able to put these away back in underneath the bench. Where the hell I go? Come on. I just had the damn things. I got two. Oh, there they are. I got two there. And two here. How do you put the hinge pin in place with the carbon already in place? The carbon is a tube. It's not wire, it's a tube. I'll show you here. The carbon rod is buried underneath inside this. Then the piece of wire is slid in. See it? And that's the hinge pin. And that makes those real nice pocket hinges like so. And the pocket, I'm doing pocket hinges on my wing too. The reason for this is, I think it was probably 2005 or 2006. Whenever I flew my S6B Supermarine, Bob Whiteley said, "You got to tape the hinges." Why? And I figure, well, he's a champion or whatever. I'll give it a try. I taped the hinges, took it out and flew it, almost hit the ground. I said, I will never tape hinges again. And I thought there has to be a better way. And so hence the pocket hinges came about. So this is the bottom here. Let's sand it out. I'm going to sand this down with 500 too. This is 320 I'm sanding with. Come on, don't dig it out. Now hit it with some 500 to close the grain. Well, there's many videos on my pocket hinges on my channel. Just search my channel for pocket hinges. Yeah, it's pretty nice. This is the last sanding that these will get until the tissue's on it. So I sanded it down to 500. That line looks like you could feel it, but you can't. It's not there. Both sides are good shape. Okay. I gotta turn on this air conditioner again. So you want to remove your shear webs that you made. Let me switch camera angles. I'm going to remove these shear webs. And before we glue this together, we got to open up that center section so that the belt crank can sit in there and I can saw that off. Because I'll show you on the other wing. Once you glue them together, you can't open it back up. So you got to make sure that you get it opened up before you glue it together. Oh, I got some bandage marks on this. I need to sand this right here. Use the 400. Yeah. So this airplane's a little over a month old. Fuselage is done. Well, not done, but fuselage crutches together, elevator and stabilizer together, rudders together, now the wings together, flaps are shaped. Pull the canopy. So I guess this is probably going to be a 4-month, 5-month project. The finishing is what's going to take the most time on this. Right now I'm searching for nomenclature Tank Hangersley did the nomenclature for my last Thunderbolt. No step, push here, manifold tightness, air pressure, and all that stuff. You know, all the correct military font stuff that was on the airplane. Well, that was $140 for those friskets. Well, worth it. But he don't want to do it no more, so I don't even have his number. Okay, now comes the fiddly part. And what I mean by the fiddly part, yeah, you can just throw it on there and glue it down, but you want to make sure that all the lines line up. At least I do. Yep, got the same problem with this one as I did the other one. So I need to set the straight edge on there and see where we're at. Let's try it again. No matter how careful you are, there's always going to be one rib that's sticking out. You got to find which one it is. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, we're gonna. It is that right there. Ah, that's why. That's why it's not pushed back where it belongs. And it sure looks like it is, but it's not. What's going to happen here is I'm going to break this thing and have to build it all over again. How can I get that out of there? There we go. There it went. Try again. Yeah, that's better. See where we are on this end. It'll be fine. Fine. Now everybody does this next procedure a little different. Hunt does it different. But what I do is I do a lot of building in my hand, eyeballing and everything. And if your eyes are good, you can do it. If they're not, I suggest you figure out how to jig it. But just because you jig it doesn't mean it's going to stay straight. So I'm going to show you right now what I'm looking for. If you look right here, let's see, how can we... This line and that line need to mate up. So we're going to put a drop of glue right there. That's tacked, and then that will come down to the other end. Put a drop of glue. And that basically holds it on there in the right spot. Put a drop of glue here. Now, if you look inside here, all the lines on the ribs line up with that line on the sheeting. So that should be straight, right? Well, maybe. So put it back in the cradle. That's basically it. We're going to glue it down. Hold it down with the, let's see, is it this one? Yeah. We'll come back and detail glue this, but you want to get it keep checking the trailing edge, make sure that it hasn't moved and it's laying flat in the cradle. Okay, that's one side. Let's turn this over. Put it in this fresh cradle here. I don't like that. It's this other cradle's a different shape. Not that I think it would matter. We better get the other half. I don't want to monkey with that one, so we'll take this half. Take this half and use this one. Oop. Okay. That's more better. Okay. Yeah. Still down good. Hold that down and get her tacked up. Don't worry about that end here. Great. CA is a killer, boy. Now this is just tack. Don't forget to come back after you get this all done. That other wing needs to be detail glued too. You want to go in with a snorkel and wick CA on everything. All the ribs, all the spars. Especially if you're building, like I do, where everything's as light as possible with the lightest wood or whatever. Every piece works with every other piece to hold it together. If you don't have it, if it's off a little bit, then it causes one piece to work harder and poof, your wing will explode. Okay. We got it together and it's straight. How do you know it's straight? There's no rock in the cradle. It's laying flat. Down in the front, down in the back. So when we glue the two halves together, they'll be perfectly straight. So now I take a razor saw and we'll cut off the excess here. Let's see here, maybe switch camera angles. Cut off the What the hell are we going through here? Oh, I'm into the foam. Okay. Now before you start sanding that, you want to make sure this last rib is glued completely, because it wasn't. Okay. Thin board. That looks pussy bueno. Where we at? We're at 40 minutes. Now you're asking, why am I not using a long sanding block? Well, it's best not to, because you'll sand that rib so thin because it's not attached to anything. You'd be going, why did I do that? We need a better angle here. There we go. Oh, broke that rib loose. Yeah, we'll get her. Now have the T-pins. There's one. Hello, Razor, or I guess that Wraith Retour or whatever. I had a little spot there on this end piece with a small gap, so I put a little bit of gap filling CA. I mean a real small gap too, but you don't want any gaps on leading or trailing edges, because that can cause a stress riser. And yeah, that's because I'm old. This is the bottom side of this wing. Will be electric glow. It's glow. It's a piped 75 engine. This is the engine that goes in it right here. What I just showed you there is about $700 of raw power. Now we'll wait to get that done on that side. Let's look at this side and see what's up with it. Yeah, it should be all right. Oh. It's a good thing that I'm putting a tank box in this. They sure cut it close. Damn. Saw got away from me. So, like I say, this is getting a tank box, but it didn't quite pull down to where it should have been. So we'll fill it in. It's only wood. This all gets cut out. It all gets cut away and a box put in. But I need to have it all in one piece so I can get it epoxied together. So we'll keep filling her up. That's terrible. So I don't have any baking soda. But I'll get her filled. Yeah, that's close enough. If I wasn't cutting it away, I'd work on it a little more. No, this you'll see how big this airplane is. This is a big, big mama. And I sure hope this thing goes together with. No problem. Okay, we need to do our trick here with the pins. Let's see if it stayed square. I hope it did. Now this wing, this side here is a little different. You know, I did one side by itself. The next side I need to have the mate on it. Buenas noches, Marcos. I want to know where Carolina Parisi is. Está muy bonita. So this is L. So let's put the L's over here so we don't lose these. I'm just old, I guess. Okay. Yes, that's exactly correct. Reduce the wingspan, but up to square inches. So the model will look more scale-like. It'll look like a jug. Okay, I'm not going to be putting the wings together per se, but I am going to put the wings together to cut the sheeting. So, I've been on 52. I'll run till 8 o'clock, so that'll be about an hour and 15 minutes. So, put the cradles together. What would that design lend itself to an I-beam wing? No. Billy did build an I-beam wing, a P-47. But there's, you know, even like a USA-1 is an I-beam wing. Could you build it as an I-beam wing? Yes. Would I build it as an I-beam wing? No. I-beam wing is too flexible, and it requires on the covering to hold it rigid. Well, I need this to be light, so there's not going to be much paint, so there wouldn't be much strength with an I-beam wing. Okay, so let's keep your fingers crossed. Let's see if it all fits together nicely. Perfect. Perfect. Got a little bit of fitment to do, but not much. Little bit, but not much. Okay, so I need some clamps. A little high there. I don't understand how that happened. I guess it happened when I cut that sheeting. this for a little bit. A D tube would work. This is a C tube. The reason why I like C tubes better than D tubes is you can get in and glue the sheeting. On a D tube, you got to wait for white glue to dry. It's all well and good if you want to go that route, but I don't care for it. I think we're going to have a problem getting this apart too. Damn. Well, we'll see. Okay. Where are my pins? Pretty good on that. Okay, so get a pin. We don't care what's under the spar. We want the sheeting to meet perfectly, so when I put that top piece on, it's perfect. You guys will hear me say perfect, perfect, perfect. That's because my dad drove it into me. He'd say, God damn it, it has to be perfect. He is sorely missed. Oh, I'll announce the contest this weekend in Dayton. If you got nothing to do and you're close to Dayton, you come on down and fly in the contest Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's Old Time Classic profile. Sunday is Pampa. I do not center fiberglass the center section. No need for it. The compression spar is what holds the load. The compression spar I haven't made yet, but this is the material right here. It's 1/8" basswood. It spans from this rib to this rib, a little bit farther with, some areas on it. It's about 1 inch wide, top and bottom, and that's what holds the bell crank, and that's what holds the wing together from folding. Then the sheeting goes on the top of that with the epoxy, doing that all together. There's no way. There's never had one fold, ever, never. So let's take this out. Stick with me, do it my way, and it'll be just fine. Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that. Ah, shit. A little bit of glue there. So what's happening is the CA is wicked underneath that spar and glued the sheeting on the other side of that spar. I don't want to have to sand this. So I want you to come off in one piece. There we go. Right on top of that spar. There we go. There we go. I watched a couple of days ago, Modeler's Wing folded. I don't remember if it was flight, free flight, or RC. Well, he didn't build it right. You know, I spend so much time on these airplanes. After building, I know I've built 400 or 500 of these models in my life. Never had a wing fold, but always looking for a better way to make things stronger with less. Not saying it can't happen, because it can. It just hasn't happened. I wish that would have been on the bottom. And fine. Want a nice straight line for the covering. Just wait till I cut the center section out of this. I'm going to cut the center section out of this. And you go, what? How's that going to stay together? The fuel tank slides back into the wing. It's all boxed in. And when you cover this, you double silk span it right here. Used to use carbon fiber, but carbon fiber is black. It's too hard to hide. And there's no need for it. Especially if you're using Jap tissue. Jap tissue is stronger. Wish I had a fingernail file, but I don't. I go to Walgreens or whatever and ask the lady at the counter, got any fingernail pliers? Oh yeah, what do you want? How many do you want? All of them. I need to do that again. Get a bucket of them, that big around. They're just sanding sticks, is all they are. Okay. It's going to have to do it. Got a little speck right here. Need to get off. Oh, it's all right off. Okay. And then when I make my center sheeting, I glue two pieces together and make this all in one piece, so you can't see any. There's no other explanation. It's built wrong. You know, I don't know. I could beat around the bush and say, well, this thing, nah, he just did it wrong. It's a shame because I know how much work goes into those. But that's the way it goes. So we got 5 minutes that will run here. At least I'll have the wing halves roughed in, and I can detail glue it and all that stuff. You guys don't need to see me do that. I'll just flop them back to the other side. Do the bottom. I still have to open them up for the landing gear blocks. Get my floors in. I still need to cut some more ribs. Shit. I thought for sure I was done cutting ribs, but I'm not. I got a crack right there. Oh well. It's under the fuselage. No big deal. I have a good supply of the colored tissue used on free flight models. Absolutely not. If you have Japanese tissue, it's stronger than silk span, it's stronger than carbon fiber. Go look on my channel. John and I did a demonstration of coverings. Carbon fiber, Japanese tissue, medium silk span, lightweight silk span. First was medium silk span. That was the strongest, the absolute strongest. Everybody thought, well, carbon fiber will be strong. Second place was Japanese tissue, what you're talking about, the colored tissue. Third was medium weight silk span, and carbon veil was absolutely last. I use Japanese tissue all the time. It is by far stronger than all that other garbage. If you look at Jerry Phelps's airplanes, his airplanes are all covered in Japanese tissue. Wings, everything. The problem with using Japanese tissue on something like this is it's too big. They don't make Japanese tissue in this size. However, I did find that guy in England, and I bought that tissue at $15 a sheet. But seeing as that I don't do Japanese tissue all that often, I couldn't get it on the wing, or I would have used it. Now, why couldn't you do that on the top? The bottom worked perfect. Damn. Oh well. Okay, moment of truth. What does it weigh? We know it's going to be around 5 ounces. Now I need to go back and glue all this stuff because you can see that it's loose in spots. Jim Lynch, if you're watching, which I know you are, this wing weighs 145 grams. Between 143 and 145. 5 ounces, right on the money. I'll show you that. Nope. Let's see here. I have to switch camera angles. Now, what the heck? I got to make sure that it doesn't reset itself. And you can't see it. Now it says 505. I think my there's. There we are. It's 5 ounces. Let me move this over so you can see. Five ounces. Just like I said. Man, I'm having a hell of a time here with that. Right top. This one goes here. Left. And this one goes here. I can see a spot I'm going to have to repair. But ain't nothing but a thing. It's only wood. All right, we did an hour and 15 minutes tonight. I got to go. Got to eat dinner. Get ready for the grind tomorrow. You guys can play with Charles. He'll be on here shortly. And really appreciate the support. You guys watching. Hope my building techniques help you. You can always send me a message on the forum if you got a question. Gonna be a big wing. Big wing. There's a lot of wing area here. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night. Same time, same channel. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.